Welcome back, Year 5. You might be wondering what we're going to be doing in reading today, because last week we finished Fantastic Mr. Fox. Are we going to be starting a new book? Yes, we are, but not today. Since this week is such a short week, we only have Wednesday for reading because Friday is Feel Good Friday, I decided it would be a great time to refresh on some skills that we had a bit of trouble with. Before we started distance learning, we studied fact versus opinion at school, and that was an area some of us had trouble with, trying to distinguish between statements of fact and statements of opinion. So today's lesson is going to focus on that skill, being able to tell the difference between fact and opinion. Next week, Monday, we're going to go back to having our read-alouds with independent work attached. So first of all, what are facts and what are opinions? Well, a fact is a true statement that you can prove. That's the key there, you can prove it. Whereas an opinion is someone's idea or feeling about something. So people can have different opinions. One isn't true and the other false. It just depends on the person's personal viewpoint. So you can tell the difference between facts and opinions because facts often have dates and numbers. They're based on science and history. They give specific events. They're nonfiction. Whereas opinions often deal with what people prefer or what they think or feel or believe. They often involve words that end in ER or EST, like I think this is better or I think this is the best. So an opinion, again, is something that you can't prove as being true because somebody else might disagree with you, whereas a fact is something that you can definitely prove because it is backed up by evidence. So let's look at these example statements and decide whether they are facts or opinions. At the top, rabbits' teeth never stop growing. Is this something that I can prove, or is it just an opinion? Well, I can prove whether or not rabbits' teeth never stop growing. I could look it up, I could research it, I could ask a scientist. So this is going to be a fact. It has evidence to support it. If I were to look it up, I could find evidence to support it. What about the next one? Rabbits are so cute. Is there evidence to support this? Well, you might say yes. I could look at a rabbit and say it's very cute. But could somebody else look at the rabbit and say, I think it's ugly? Yeah. So this is an opinion. Whereas in the first one, I could take out a measuring tape or ruler and prove that a rabbit's teeth never stop growing. I could argue with someone forever about rabbits being cute and they could continue to disagree with me because it's their opinion. So rabbits are so cute is just an opinion. What about rabbits have tails? Well, this is a fact. I can prove it. I can look at pictures of rabbits. I could look at a real rabbit and see that it has a tail. Rabbits feel super soft. Is this a fact or an opinion? Well, two people could pet a rabbit and disagree about how it feels. One might say it feels really soft, whereas the other person says it doesn't. So this is an opinion. It's based on your personal viewpoint. Rabbits are born blind. Is this something I can prove with evidence? Yes, it is. I could research it, I could ask a vet, I could go look for myself and find whether or not rabbits are born blind. No one can disagree about that if there is evidence to support it. Rabbits make better pets than dogs. Is there evidence to support this? Well, someone might say, yes, I have a pet rabbit and it's better than having a dog. But look, it says better. That clue. It's an opinion because someone can disagree. Another person could turn around and say, no, dogs are better pets than rabbits, and they could argue continually about it and never come to a conclusion because they have different viewpoints and they can use evidence from either side to support their view. Male rabbits are called bucks. Is this a fact? Well, I can research it and find out. If I punch this into Google or I look it up in a dictionary or some sort of research tool, I can find out whether or not this is true. And if I do find it in that research tool, it would be a fact. This is not someone's opinion. Finally, I like fluffy rabbits the best. Well, this one's a giveaway. This is clearly an opinion because somebody else might say they don't like fluffy rabbits. They like small rabbits or short-haired rabbits. So this just depends on the person's viewpoint. Now, I found that when we last worked on fact and opinion, the biggest issue we had was that sometimes we'd come across opinions that we agreed with. So let's say both you and I like fluffy rabbits the best. That does not make it a fact just because we personally agree with it. We have to think to ourselves, is it possible for someone to disagree? Is there evidence that proves that this is always true? If there is not evidence to support it, then it is not a fact, even if you personally agree with it. All right, Year 5. What we're going to do now is read a text called People Can Prepare for Earthquakes. It's taken from RAZ Kids. With this text, I'm going to model to you how I can tell the difference between facts and opinions. Afterwards, I'm going to send you off to RAZ Kids, where you are going to find a fact and opinion activity. But first, let's read through this passage. People can prepare for earthquakes. Many people live near fault lines. Earthquakes can happen near these deep cracks in the earth. During an earthquake, the ground shakes. Buildings and everything in them also shake. People hardly notice a small earthquake, but it is almost impossible to ignore a large one. Predicting the exact time of an earthquake is not possible yet. Preparing for one is the best way to stay safe. After all, every earthquake is terrifying. The kitchen is a risky place during an earthquake. Glasses and dishes may fall out of the cabinets and break. Broken glass on the floor is dangerous. People can put latches on their cabinet doors to prevent this hazard. Bookcases can also cause injury. Books that fall from shelves or a bookcase may crash down. People fasten bookcases and other furniture to the wall with straps. These straps don't look very nice, but they offer good protection. Many people who live near fault lines prepare for earthquakes. People who do not will learn a hard lesson. All right, so this text gave a lot of information about the importance of preparing for earthquakes and how to do so. Although it's giving information, or giving facts, I also noticed that there were quite a few opinions in there. Let's see if we can tell the difference between them. So we're going to look at a couple of sentences from this passage and determine whether they are facts or opinions. Keep in mind, this is an informational text, so none of the information in it is going to be a lie or false. It's either true, a fact, or it's an opinion, just a personal view on the matter. None of it is false. So keep that in mind, please. An opinion isn't necessarily false. You might just disagree with it, but it's not a lie. All right, let's look at the first sentence. Many people live near fault lines. Is this a fact or an opinion? Well, it's something that I can easily research and determine to be true. And since we've established that an informational piece is not just going to lie, it's either giving facts or personal views, I can tell that this is a fact. What about the last sentence in this paragraph, that first paragraph? It says, after all, every earthquake is terrifying. Is that a fact or an opinion? Well, people might disagree on whether or not earthquakes are terrifying. Some people might say, yes, they're absolutely terrifying, whereas someone else might say, nah, I think hurricanes are worse. I don't think they're that scary. So this is a personal opinion. It's not a lie, but it's not a fact. It's not true all the time. Now let's move down in the text a bit. Go down to the third paragraph and we're going to read that last sentence. It says, these straps, talking about the straps they use to fasten bookcases against the wall, these straps don't look very nice, but they offer good protection. I noticed that this is kind of like a two-part sentence. It's a compound sentence. First it says the straps don't look nice, but then it also says they offer good protection. In this case, this sentence has a fact and an opinion, but which one is which? The straps don't look very nice. Well, some people might say, yeah, I agree, those straps are ugly. Whereas somebody else might say, nah, they don't look that bad. It's a matter of personal preference, so that is an opinion. On the other hand, saying that they offer good protection, that can be proven true. You can do research and see how helpful these straps are in preventing bookcases from falling. So we can determine if it's true or not that these these straps on bookcases offer good protection. Remember, informational pieces aren't going to lie to us. They give us information, so facts. So in this case, saying that they offer good protection is a fact. It's not the writer's opinion. Now let's look at that final paragraph. It's a short one. Many people who live near fault lines prepare for earthquakes. Can I prove this, or is it just an opinion? Well, it's something that we can prove. We could research how many people prepare, and chances are a lot of people do prepare for earthquakes. So this would be a fact. That second sentence in that last paragraph, people who do not will learn a hard lesson. Well, is that a fact or an opinion? This one might seem a little bit tricky because you're tempted to agree with it, aren't you? I agree with it too. I feel like if you don't prepare for an earthquake, you're probably going to end up learning the hard way that you should have. However, just because I agree with it doesn't mean that it's true or that it's a fact. It is still my opinion. Someone might not prepare for an earthquake, might experience one and end up having a lot of damage and still not learn that they need to prepare for it. So it is just an opinion. Now, we've covered a lot of facts and opinions from this passage. However, there's quite a few that we haven't identified. So what I want you to do in the comment section down below is write one fact or one opinion that you found in the passage. And you need to say whether it's a fact or an opinion that you found. And finally, your independent work. Today, it's going to be done online. When you go onto RAZ Kids and log in, you should pull up your screen and it will look like this. I've borrowed Brady's screen for this purpose. At the bottom of the page, you're going to see a little pink box, I think it's pink for all of you, that says fact and opinion. This will be next to where you normally find your reading assignments. When you click on that box at the bottom, it will take you into your assignment that matches today's video. Complete that assignment and I will see it automatically. So you do not need to take pictures of your work today because it's going to be done online. All right, year 5, stay safe and I'll see you soon.